Welcome back to the Samantha Parker Show. Hey, I'm your host, Samantha. Let's dive on in. Hey guys, welcome back to the Samantha Parker Show. Today I'm sitting down with Angel Howard, the founder of Wild Heart Expressive and the host of the Upshift podcast. And then also you're an author, so you have a book, Issues is in Your Tissues. Should we just start? What is this book about?
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to be on your podcast. Hello. Issues in Your Tissues. I will have to say it's funny. I was looking at an old video that's 14 years old. It was awful, but I'm like, I wonder if there's any good nuggets in there. Lo and behold, 14 years ago, I used that as a description to a bunch of massage therapists that were graduating. Your clients are going to have issues in their tissues. Here we go. 14 years later, I write a book called Issues in Your Tissues. Very simply put, it is to get anybody who reads it comfortable with being in their body. Sounds like duh, but most people don't reside in their bodies. It's a book that shares stories and tells an easy way to get in your body, ask it questions, be friends with it, and have the communication.
Oh, I love that. I'm excited to learn more. You got your start really in the boardroom, and then you took it to more of this like holistic healing space. You've had positions at global brands like Coca-Cola, led nonprofits on clean water and community development. And now you're a somatic movement therapist, coach, and speaker. Today, I think we're really going to I know we're going to dive into how the body holds our stories and how you just shake that out. Because I happen to be a big fan of somatic work, and it's helped me a lot in my life, especially like probably the last year or two. So this is going to be fun. But let's take it back. So you had that career shift. So what were you doing before? Why did you move into this somatic movement therapy?
Let's reveal how I ended up in the corporate world. If you knew me in college, you'd be like, what? I thought you'd be dancing in France somewhere. This is where my family habitual conversations guided me subliminally to getting a corporate job and having something that sounded important. I grew up with a bunch of men. I had 3 older brothers and a dad, and it was just me and mom. I have to admit, there was misogyny in my house. And it's, yeah, y'all are cute. You can talk amongst yourselves, but the men are going to talk at the table. It compelled me to the second degrees, and I had to get an MBA to prove myself to people out there. So that's how I landed in corporate America, Coca-Cola, selling Coke on the West Coast.
I got my Diet Coke today.
Oh, so good for you. I used to sell that stuff. I used to like Diet Coke too. It's funny because if you want me, I can move right into the issues in your tissues, because the things that happened to me at Coca-Cola was a repeat, again, subliminally, of how I was handled in my household. You're doing great. In fact, you're number one, but you could do better. So the corporate push to do more. And I was sleeping about 4 hours a night. And I'm also getting my MBA. I started at Pepperdine because I was trying to do it all. Do it all. You can do it all. And in the 80s, we women thought we could put those big shoulder pads on and we could conquer the world because we had to look like a man. Those things were told to me in a household that landed me in a corporate seat, also propelled me out of that seat because it's very unhealthy. And I was bipolar acting. Now, I'm not diagnosed and I'm not bipolar, but my output was fantastic, burn all candles at all ends, and then I'd crash. So I'd go through highs and lows, burnout, corporate burnout, and then I'd push myself back up the mountain, and then I'd have burnout. So crazy. And the thing that happened to me after I got my master's, and I'm like, I'm going to go global, was getting married. That was a surprise, but it was all perfect at the time. I ended up on a boat for 2 years. I had my first child down on the islands, came back home. We moved into his hometown, which I knew was a mistake because he had his own vices. And those vices came out, and I did not listen to my body. It was telling me all the alarms, something's going on. I finally opened up a door one late night, and I saw everything that I had imagined was going on. That was when I call it when my candy ass world crashed. So all those things were coming to a head here. All the things you're taught in my household about how marriage should look, how you should look, how you should act. When somebody says, hey, who are you or how are you? I'm a corporate executive, as if that is who you are. You're not, you're angel. And it took me a while to find out that though. But those issues in my tissues propelled me into a very unhealthy world for me, to the point where when I finally saw reality outside my own facade, poke, look out, oh my God, that's what's really going on. Wow, I crashed. And I couldn't crash too hard because I had two babies and they depended on me. So I went in that moment. I didn't go into depression or blaming, but I said, what is it that I've brought into this world? What is it that I don't know about me that would have that show up in my life? Something
What,
about magnetism.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
what exactly was showing up in your life
Oh,
issue?
yes. Spoiler alert. It's in my book.
You're not gonna
I
spoil
walked
it.
in. I walked in on my husband. I was 3.5 months pregnant with our second child, and walked in on my husband, dancing naked with a naked woman, loud music, and lots of wine. And I saw it. Everything inside of me aligned. It was weird. It's like, yep, there it is. I thought that was happening, but no way was I going to accept it until I saw it for real. It's an interesting thing when you know something that you've been denying and you actually get proof. It's a relief that yes, I was right. And yes, I could trust my intuition. And then, of course, it's crushing because then it's, oh, heck, that really happened. And now I got to deal with it. What do I do now?
So did that show up in your body then?
When I walked in on him,
No, no.
before then,
Like later on, did you start to find your body was telling signs? You know how you take the trauma and dump it into your body, which is what somatic release essentially is, correct?
yes. And so this is funny. You know what? I'm glad you asked that question because I've never quite made this connection. But dating after that, trusting a man, oh my goodness. And the guys I dated, it was awful. And girls may have this kind of behavior also. But I would flip the phone, his phone, try to look at his phone to see if he was getting texts that I didn't know about. So my trust levels were just shot. It was like nobody had my back. I was on my own, taking care of myself. I was going to have to watch forward, sideways, backwards, and two little kids. So yeah, that stayed in my body. I'll tell you the day that that got knocked out of my body. This is good memories. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can release them later.
No, let me. This is an interesting thing. You made me think about this. When did I learn to trust again? And it was on the trapeze, on the flying trapeze. I was learning to swing on the trapeze at the Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York. One of the tricks I learned was you hang your knees and then you reach out for a catcher. And you got to trust he's going to be there because you let go of the other bar. And then you reach out into the void, and no man has ever been there for me. And all of a sudden, this man said, I got you in midair, 32 feet up in the air, got my wrist and swung me into the net. And I burst into tears because it proved to me that I could trust again. That's
Yeah.
huge. And that's when it like flew out of my body. That's a somatic experience.
I love that because that's like a very profound one too. So in your book, issues is in your tissues. That's like such a fun thing to say. You explore how our bodies store emotions and experiences. So you had that obviously what you're explaining right now on the trapeze, but how else have you seen that like different issues come into your body?
My personal body.
What was
Okay.
your own experiences? Because I'm sure you had to have some seriously profound experiences if you wrote an entire book about it.
Yes, and they're all in there. I'd have to say that you have to learn what you do to cope. And that's where the somatic memories, okay, they call it brain heuristics. I just learned that today. Some people call it these brain heuristics. And it's where it's a learned response to the trauma. What you do, everybody's different. When I feel like I'm getting triggered, my shoulders come up and I start to what's called turtling. It's like your head starts going down into your clavicle. What that does is it creates neck compression and headaches. And if you compress enough and it's chronic, which mine was, I get numbness all the way down my arm. It's like I'm numb at the ends of my fingers. That's all that compression. That's compression because I'm coping with the trauma that's being triggered. That's the whole story of how trauma gets into the body. Now, what do you do to get rid of it? The first thing is you have to get in your body. When things keep coming up, it's like a baby crying. You got to do something about it. It's like your light coming on in a car, check the engine, or we're going to break down. Your body does the same thing. So in that case, I've really had to work on being conscious every time I feel stressed, like I'm back to that Coca-Cola pushing, and I can not very much, but sometimes I find myself there. I have to be conscious and just take a breath. That's the best thing. If your audience did anything, when you start to feel uncomfortable, stop. Whatever it is, the thought, whatever it happened, and take a long breath and just pull that down your body and just be aware. I was just talking to somebody today about the heartbeat and being in crisis. The first thing you can do in your parasympathetic nervous system is take deep breaths because it massages your heart and you're telling your heart, I got you. And it's like hugging your heart. These are just little things to do to help with those coping mechanisms so that you can change the neural pathway from the trauma trigger to a whole different reaction or response.
That was going to be my question is what exactly does it mean to get in your body? If you could spell it out, like taking deep breaths. So what you just said really stood out to me. A lot of times on this podcast, we talk about sobriety and alcoholism and different, I'm an alcoholic. And I like listening to what you're saying and I can apply it to my own experiences where you have a trigger, especially in recovery. There's so many triggers all the time. Could you speak to that part of it?
Absolutely. I stopped drinking 3 years ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I did it purely out of health and irritation. I kept noticing I took 2 years watching my drinking habits and I'm trying not to age. And hey, guess what? I'm 61 years old and the horizon's a lot closer than it used to be. And so I'm trying not to age, and yet alcohol was aging me. So it made all the sense in the world just to quit. So triggers, though, how I had to do it was I had to go and reset my mindset around alcohol. What is it in my life? When did I start? Like go back to that very time you snuck a drink and then ask yourself why. Why did you do that? Why did you sneak into your parents' liquor cabinet? This is me. Pour a little bit out of every bottle so they wouldn't notice. Stick some Coke in there and then drink it. Why did you do that? In my household, it's because 5 o'clock was like dinner. 5 o'clock was cocktail time. No matter where you are, I used to crack open bottles in the back seat for my mom and dad driving in the car. 5 o'clock was cocktail. So accepted. It's like breathing. So that's habitual. Is that something you want to continue? Well, I did it because they did it. And the hard part, when do you do it during your day? When do you say, I need a drink? When do you say, I have to have a drink? Or we don't even think about it. And I say, I'll have a glass of wine. And so I had to go through all those habitual triggers and consciously unwind each one. Go through. I quit in September, which headed right into holiday season. So everybody's handing you a drink and you go, no, I'm good, thanks. And they're like, what? What? Are you not drinking? And I was, no. Does that mean you're not my friend now? So much emotions around alcohol, I mean, it's just a substance.
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question.
I have a few more questions on that. If you've gotten past the point of, okay, I'm not drinking anymore, you're a little bit into your sobriety, but like, how do you recognize like the triggers that are showing up in your body now? And maybe not the habits, but like the different emotions. How do you stay attuned to be like, I can feel this on my shoulder? Or like you were saying, how do you just notice what you notice?
First of all, you got to pay attention. A lot of people just walk through life, A, not in their body, and B, with the pain. People just cope with the pain, or they're on ibuprofen and aspirin all the time. So for me, it's when I go to sleep, if I have a pain that seems chronic, like in my lower back, like what is that about? And I use the chakra system, the Indian chakra system, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. And so that lower back would be in the second chakra, which has to do with connection to other, it's driven by some other primal things. I use the element of water and I'm usually dehydrated because I run hard. So it's like, I need more water. You just start asking questions. And I do use the chakra system because it gives our mind a place to start. If you have a heavy heart, you can feel it. Like an elephant standing on your chest is, what is that about? And then it's, oh, I miss my mom. She passed. So that's grief. But then what happens, Samantha, is you ask, so what? So you figured, okay, I'm sad. Now what? When you touch in to the emotion, when you say body, I understand that this is sadness showing up and it feels like this for you. Then you just acknowledge it and say, it's okay to be sad. You talk to your body. It's okay to be itchy. I know you got something to say. My throat itched for a week. Weirdly, not inside, outside. It's, oh my God, do I have hives? No, I was itching. See, even bringing attention to people's throats, sometimes they feel like, I got to clear it because we stop everything right here. So it's about doing something somatically that releases it. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
absolutely. So let's go there. Okay. So you've identified the emotion, or you've identified like, oh, my shoulder really hurts, and you've identified like, why does it hurt? And you've gone through that emotional checklist. How do you actually somatically move through it?
Okay, I'm going to take a story then. My left knee, since I was 30, I blew it out. I competed in 7 different sports, but at 31 years old, after 2 children back to back, in a dance class, I blew it completely sideways. All ligaments gone. Got put back together. And then it hurts. It lets me know what's going on. That's when I got certified as a somatic movement therapist. You have to deal with your issues to get it flexible again. To be flexible, you have to be kind and gentle. You can't cram it or it breaks. I had to ease into sitting on my knees again and cry. I cried. And I'm like, what is it about my left knee? Your legs are your stability, right? Left is about your receiving, is about your giving. So, how you are in the world is your right side. How you receive love, support, comfort is your left side. And so I asked, what's wrong with my left receiving of support? Had to do with my mother, had to do with she wasn't supported in my household. And I felt like through osmosis that as a woman, I'm also not supported as my mom wasn't. And so my knee was going, hey, you need to look at this. And when I
No,
started talking to my knee about, were we supported? Do you need support? I support you. I'm here. You change the narrative, like changing the neural pathway. You change the narrative, like you change your relationship to drinking. You change the neural pathway, but you have to give it somewhere else to go.
I see a therapist who practices somatic movement. Mostly what we do, I don't go and sit on her couch, like I don't do talk therapy, but I
Yeah.
go and she'll work out my back and my legs and my hips for me.
Does she
And
touch? Does she manipulate, or do you move with her?
no, she uses like literally, I would say it's a way better massage.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, our
Yeah.
bodies are so intelligent. And I will say this, your mind, I just said this earlier today to somebody. It's very hard to find peace in your mind when you're in the middle of chaos or when you perceive chaos. And a lot of that's happening right now in our lives. A lot of people are in very non peaceful places in their lives. And I say to them, get out of your head, get out of your mind, quit the hamster wheel. You just got to ignore it, do what it takes just to separate and just get down into the body. Start to feel your ribs expanding and contracting. When I breathe, I say things like, I inhale love, I exhale love. I inhale great things, support, yummy energy. And I exhale that which doesn't serve me. I just exhale this tension, this gnawing feeling, this chaos. But wait, I want to say something else about chaos though. Chaos, there's a movement I use as the third chakra, and I use the wood element that shakes. We shake the chaos out of our body by inviting chaos in. And all of a sudden, your relationship to chaos becomes, and it's like, it wasn't that bad after all. That's funny. People start to laugh. It's wild. It's about touching that emotion and then doing something physical that your body wants to do to get rid of it.
Have you seen a lot of people on TikTok, different experts talking about the vibe plates and how you can step on a vibe plate to change and shift and move some of that pent up emotions that you don't know what to do with?
Absolutely. I love vibe plates. And you can stretch on one and you can use it to check your balance. It's great for your joints. Yes.
And then the other thing I've been seeing is the Theraguns being used.
Another great thing. Be careful though. They can be powerful if you're hitting the
Yeah,
wrong thing. Like
they
a,
don't beat yourself up. So for newbies, what do you recommend to them? Do you have a practice? Where do people start?
I try to make it very easy for people. I have some videos on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel. Come find me there. My
What's
book
your YouTube?
is Howard Issues Coach.
Okay.
YouTube. I don't know if you're going to it right now. We are working on that to make it even better. There are tons of videos on there of movement. In my book, go to Amazon and get my book. That's the easiest. That's why I wrote it, because it's so easy. After each chapter that talks about a chakra and an element, and it's got personal story in there, it's got some exercises. It also has two QR codes. One is a video where you move with me and other people in the room. It's fun, funky. The other QR code is a Spotify list
Oh,
that
rad.
emulates the movement quality of that element. So it's like you put it on, and if you don't like the first song, I've got 12 on each one or more, and I keep adding to them. You pick one, like for water, something that's flowy. You put on Marvin Gaye. He's fun. And just take your body and move it. For super newbies, if you don't want to go to Amazon and get the book, you just need to put on your favorite song, whatever your favorite song is, in your room, and just move. Close your eyes. Nobody's watching. And just start to move through the entire song. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 7 minutes. And then at the end, check in with your body and see how you feel. That is a beginner's first step.
And I think you can apply this to so much of addiction and recovery or whatever vices you have, or maybe you're just really pissed off that day. It's how can you shift that and change it without ignoring it and just stuffing it down? So I think that's probably the key is we're not ignoring it. We're just choosing a different way.
No, you're not ignoring it. You can't actually. You will for a little bit, but it's only going to get louder and hurt more and interrupt you at odd times. It's like a kid. I describe that in my book. It's like a 3-year-old child that's going to keep tugging at you until you answer it. But we have lives where we're out in public. Maybe you have a public persona for 6 hours, 8 hours a day. You can wait. You can tell that feeling, I feel you, and I'm going to let it out. I'll do it tonight. Just, I feel you. I hear you. You've got a lot of grief. We're going to go watch a sad movie tonight, and we're going to let that come in.
Okay, I love that. That's actually really brilliant. I love you. I hear you. We're going to put a pin in this and we'll be back.
And it actually is like a child. It will relieve itself for a little bit. It's okay. You acknowledged me.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so you were talking about how you went and got an MBA and all of these things. So that's one thing I've always wished I went to business school. But do you have any regrets from all of that? Because I feel like you probably learned a lot. So now you're able to do this and put this out into the world.
Yeah, I have no regrets. I loved my MBA schools in the south of France. I had all kinds of fun friends. I had a wild, wild life, and I lived by my gut. I took risks all the time. I wouldn't suggest people live like I do at all. Very risky, spontaneous. But if I did have a regret, I wish I had stayed on the track I was on, meaning instead of getting derailed by meeting my future ex-husband, I wish I'd stayed on course. I could be living in Italy right now or Switzerland or Norway, but you cannot live there. You cannot say those things. No regrets. I wouldn't have my two beautiful, beautiful sons right now if I had changed anything in my life. Yeah, no regrets. Mm-mm.
Someone asked me that yesterday if I would tell my younger self anything. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Because it's supposed to play out how it's supposed to play out.
You are who you are, and you came in to have your unique experiences.
So, what other big accomplishments has Somatics given you in your life? Or I don't know if it's accomplishments, but maybe how have you jumped that hurdle by using Somatics?
I would say my knee jerk was if I had attention deficit disorder, somatics, because I have a lot of training in a lot of things, right? Corporate world, nonprofit world. I could use that as a coaching business completely. I would love to help nonprofits. And I do, but I do it at executive directorship. So at the end of the day, though, I believe that if you focus on one really good skill that you're passionate about, that's what grows. It's better than throwing seeds to the wind, which I did. It's better to say, you know what, this one tree that I really love needs my attention to grow. And that would be the somatics. I didn't do it for about 10, 11 years and I moved back to my hometown because my hometown was not as funky and cool as New York or LA or Asheville, North Carolina. So I looked like a little bit of a weirdo to people. And I had to get through that, Samantha. I had to really go through that. Another thing, looking good, holding up, keeping appearances, and all that stuff, and let the rejection happen just to be myself. That was tough because you got to actually allow people to reject you and say, that's okay. We're not meant to be friends anymore at this point in my life. That's a toughie.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, sticking with somatics is where my heart is. I can describe the world through the body, and everybody's got one. Somatics has really helped me stay on course, and I need to stay on course for every reason in the world. So I help other people stay on course too, and that's where somatics has really helped me.
I love that. Okay, this is my question I had on my little list here, you guys. My little prep list that I really wanted to ask you about. So, a lot of people are high achievers, and our identity is built on that external achievement.
Mm.
So, how do you connect, or how do you guide people to connect on a deeper level with something that is deeper than just like external validation and achievements?
I love this question because that has been a talk that I've done in the past about success versus significance. Think about that. You can be very, very successful. You can check the boxes. You can look good. You can wear the right suit. You can say the right things. You can have the right acronyms and totally do alphabet soup and feel and look like you're super successful and be empty inside. And what I say to those people is that's great, whatever you had to do to get to that pinnacle. Celebrate that you made it there. That's one thing. People don't celebrate. It's like you made some amazing accomplishments. Celebrate that. And then when you're done celebrating, get really quiet. If you have to go off to a little cabin, just take all the noise away. And you need to take all the input away. No TVs, radios, internet, phone, nothing. And go inside and ask yourself, what brings me joy? And then listen to it. Because if I really don't want to be a life coach anymore, I would love to just garden. I love gardening. But oh, that sounds so minuscule and menial. Or I just want to be a mom. I just want to be there when my kids come home from school. I want to bake cookies. I want to make their rooms look really cute. That's what I want to do. Although people think that that's not worthy enough. So I've got to put on the suit and go push myself through my day. When you take all that away, that's an imposter, that's that facade. Go inside and then whatever the answer is, heed it because that brings you joy. That's the difference. Success in life, when you're on your deathbed, you will not regret the things you did. You will regret the things you didn't do. And those usually have to do with relationships and feeling good and bringing delight to yourself. Enjoy what you enjoy. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy means bring the joy of your life inside. Enjoy, inspire, bring the spirit of you inside.
That's some incredible advice. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for just sharing your beautiful gift with the world. It sounds like you, not sounds, I know you're doing incredible things in this world. And you can get your book on Amazon. I found it there this morning, Issues
Yeah.
in Your Tissues. I'm interested to read it and learn more about it. So I think it'll be
Yes.
fun.
please do the videos. And
Yeah,
then
so it kind
right
of sounds like it's basically the full walkthrough of somatic therapy.
I really wanted to make it accessible. And because people think that these bodies are like these weird mysteries. It's like it's really not. Just get in there, start the conversation. That's what this book's all about.
I love it. Anything else you want to share? I think you really nailed it.
Keep a lookout. I would love for people to come to angelhoward.co, sign up for my email because we're getting ready to start promoting the YouTube channel as a place to go to do some somatics. Come in from a horrible day, or you had this grief and now you're feeling it. And so pick a watery one or an ethereal one and just stand and listen to it and then move to it. A place to go to move. So angelhoward.co.co and
Yeah.
sign up for the email. I have a new TV show that's coming out. I think I can
Oh,
do
you do?
teasers. Yes.
Okay.
It's on PBS. It's on my local PBS, but it's accessible online through Passport, through all the online PBS stations channels. It's called Women Our Age. And it's movement at first. We talk about a thing like hormones. We all deal with it no matter how old you are. I talk about a section of the body as chakra, the second with water. It's about being flexible and adaptable during your day, which is what you were saying. Something comes up, a trigger comes up, a roadblock comes up, a speed bump comes up. What do you do? Bring in the flexibility and the adaptability of water. That is, you don't let anything stick to you. I'm going to flow around, I'm going to flow over it, I'm going to flow around it. And I tell people if you don't like it that much, flow away from it. Just flow.
Just
Go
keep.
with, and it's fun because it also makes dealing with life a lot less serious. I love that part about it.
I love that
So,
too.
yeah.
How did that come about for you? Did PBS reach out? Come from?
So I had lunch with this woman who we should have met years ago. We don't understand why we didn't. We're very much alike. She was going to PBS that day to pitch another show. She had
Okay.
lunch with me. She said, "You need your own TV show." And I'm like, "Yes, I do." Um, and she pitched it that afternoon and they said, "Tell her to give us 8 episodes." I'm like, "What?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"What? How do you do that?" Yeah. So anyway, let me tell you, it's 30 minutes. So the first 7 is movement. So we get the element in our body. The second half, the biggest chunk of it is an expert in the field of hormones, or I do this one thing with a data analysis about intuition and how she backs it with PhD data. I love for entertainment and education to be one. You can learn
Mhm.
something about yourself and have a better life without having to trudge through. I
Yeah.
gotta be better. This is just fun.
Oh, I love that.
Women our
Okay.
age.
Women rage. That's really rad. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, sign up for the email and you'll know all the things that are coming. I have a retreat coming up and we only have 12 spots. It's in the desert in Sedona, Arizona, in a beautiful retreat center that a bunch of us got together and built. That's coming up in October. So sign up for for the email and you can find out more about it.
I love that. That's a lot of great resources. Thank you, Angel, and thank you for your time today. And thanks for being on the Samantha Parker Show.
Thank you, Sam. Love being here.